What's up, Raider Nation? We finally got a win. Yeah, welcome back to the Silver and Black Attack, and finally a positive video. Um, yeah, we're thrilled. We're thrilled, man. Wasn't a pretty game, low scoring, a lot of defense. Um, but defense wins championships. So if you're gonna win championships, you can't lose to Josh McDaniels, and that's exactly what Green Bay just did. Um, One other point, Jordan Love, disastrous game. And I think yeah, today's main topic is gonna be the defense because Max Crosby and those guys are dogs, man. They're dogs.
I texted you I think it was the third or fourth quarter. I'm like, Max Crosby's the best football player on the planet. He's amazing, dude. He ever since last year, he wasn't this good last year. He's gotten a lot better. He's getting a sack a game. Like he's got 5, 6 sacks now in the season.
Five, yeah,
He's
five
a
sacks.
game record. He's in the backfield every goddamn play. He wrecks the game. And shout out to our secondary, man. Amik Robertson coming up big. He played well. He got a few tackles for loss. Spillane, Spillane was crazy today. Two
Spill.
picks. When's the last time we've had a linebacker get 2 picks in a game like that? Big
Yeah,
time game.
I think the last time was Kwiatkowski did it. These big
Yeah,
white backers wearing the 40s jerseys,
that
Yeah,
was a big time
Roberts.
game by Spillane.
Yeah. Like sometimes when I see him running, I'm like, yo, look, it's Robert Spillane running. I'm like, it's Nick Kwiatkowski, bro. Like I'm wait,
Yeah, dude.
Kwiatkowski's gone, bro. It's like, but he showed up those 2 picks. He almost had a third too. There was a
At
play
the end of the game, yeah,
where Merrick deflected it up and he almost got a hand on it.
yeah,
But it reminded me a little bit of Eric Harris. Remember when we picked off Philip Rivers 3 times on Thursday night?
yeah, yeah,
Yeah, Crimea
dude.
Rivers. But
No, so like, and we weren't even at full strength. We were missing
yeah,
Hobbs and we were
I,
missing
I was just gonna
Jack
say
Bennett.
Jack Bennett out, Hobbs out. I don't even think David Long saw the field. I mean, we don't mess with David Long Jr. We've gone over this numerous times, but David Long did not see the field. That's for sure. Um, and then Troy Pride Jr. Either we elevated him today. Tyler Hall played a huge game. Tyler Hall had
Yeah,
a couple big tackles on third and long.
yeah,
Where it was like swing passes or check downs on third and long. Tyler Hall was right there. He got hurt.
yeah,
He went to the locker room later in the game. I'm not sure what happened to him. I hope he's all right because they're gonna elevate him again, time and again.
yeah.
But 37 made some huge plays. We're gonna need Jack Bennett and Nate Hobbs back next week. Well, Patriots don't have a receiving core actually, so maybe we'll be all right. I mean, we really handled it well today, but
Yeah.
I'm honestly I'm impressed. I'm happy, like I'm impressed. But that being said, I mean Jordan Love is pretty awful. I mean, look at how he played last week against Detroit and now this week. I don't think he's a great quarterback, and I don't think the Green Bay offense is very loaded. Aaron Jones was out, but a win's a win. Defense played their heart out. 13 points allowed. Um, I'm excited to see what they're gonna do next week, whether it's Bailey Zapp or Mac Jones. We'll see.
Yeah. I mean, this is the first time in a while we've had cornerback depth like this. Like our two out of our three corners, Peter's our number one corner, you could say. So our second and third corners were out, and we were able to have guys step in. Amik Robertson and Tyler Hall. We even said they didn't even make the roster. In the beginning of the year, they didn't even make the 53, and they're coming in prime time, making a big impact.
And
So
I said that earlier. I was like, Amik did make the 53, but all the people besides us, we were the only Raider followers that said Amik was going to make the team. But a lot
oh
of
yeah,
people,
sorry. I meant
yeah,
Tyler Hall and who else missed the
Sam
team?
Webb. It was Sam
Sam
Webb.
Webb.
He
Yeah,
got picked up
Sam
by
Webb.
Carolina now. He's in
Yeah,
Carolina.
that's what I
Um,
was thinking of.
but Amik Robertson, I knew he's always been a dog. He plays in the slot. When Hobbs comes out or Hobbs can't go, Amik steps up in a big way. And Tyler Hall filled that void on the outside. I saw this morning somewhere that said Marcus Epps will be out tonight because of knee injury. And I thought,
I
okay,
saw that as well. I
yeah,
think Sanjeev posted that on Twitter, and so then I
yeah,
saw him out there
I'm,
in the
I'm pretty
lineup, and I'm
sure.
like,
Yeah, and I saw him out there with the pink cleats,
Yeah,
and I was like, man, I'm like, damn, I'm like, I'm glad he's out there. I mean, he's a dog. He's got, championship pedigree technically. I mean, he's played in the Super Bowl unlike much of our team. He
yeah,
knows how it is on the, on the biggest stage. So him being out there was great. He had a couple nice plays over the top. Um, but that interception, I don't know if you look at it again, it like he just grabbed onto it with like between his
yeah.
elbows, like, and if it went through, man,
It
Christian
was a
Watson
touchdown.
right there, that would have been a touchdown. We would
Yeah,
be
for
sitting here
sure.
1-4. We'd be sitting here pleading for Mark Davis to fire McDaniels. Which,
Yeah.
I mean, yeah,
We won't even get into Mark Davis. What happened with him today? But
yeah, yeah. But I mean, I don't think you could have missed it. But yeah, after that 4th and 1 play, where wait, what was it? The 4th and 1, or what was it? Where we
no,
didn't?
he was Mark. Mark was pissed off when we got Spilly got that first pick, and we were at like the 9 yard
Oh
line.
yeah, 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 yeah,
We
yeah.
just
And
went
they
three
went
and
three
out from the
out.
9 yard line.
Right,
Yeah,
right,
yeah,
right. He picked it off. Splain picked it off, and then we went 3 and out and punted the ball right back. And he goes, he said something like "effing asshole," like when you read his lips, like.
yeah, yeah,
And we're certain he's talking to about Josh McDaniels. When McDaniels goes back and watches the tape, he's gonna see that, and
yeah.
that'll make for an interesting conversation. But you can see the look of disgust on his face. But no, he's too worried about he's about to win another women NBA championship. The Aces are up 1-0, and they're about to close out and win, back-to-back titles. Darren Waller's wife will get another ring.
Yeah,
Darren Waller's still gonna now he's on the Giants, so won't be winning anytime soon.
yeah. And if you look at across our defense, Trayvon Merrick, I thought played a good game too. I mean, in the first few weeks, he would always give up touchdowns. You just saw him. He was kind of slow going to the ball, always giving up plays. This week, he made a nice tackle. I think it was for a loss of yardage, and I didn't hear his name, which is a good thing for DBs. They're not. He wasn't getting beat. He played a good game. I think Diablo was pretty decent as well, making some plays. And our D line, I got to give him credit. Malcolm Kuntz, he was getting pressure on the opposite side of Crosby. Our interior was they were getting gashed a little bit in the beginning of the game by AJ Dillon, um, but they stepped up towards the
Yeah,
end.
they stepped up
So
when it mattered, and I think the biggest stop was when they had that 70-yard pass completion to Christian Watson, and Marcus Peters with like a Hall of Famer type play just grabbed his horse
yeah,
collar tackle to stop the touchdown. They went 3 and out, settled for a field goal. So like it's those kind of plays, even McDaniels mentioned it in his post game interview. I was just listening
yeah,
to on the treadmill, and he's like, you know, that's exactly. He just says, and it's funny reading the comments. He just keeps saying, and it's like
yeah,
counter at like 300 today. And
yes.
watch that shit. He said it so many times, in the damn thing.
He's been doing that since he got here. I'm like, dude, this guy, he just says it after every sentence. Every
Yeah, I
sentence
don't
he
think.
says that.
I think he's Mick dumbass. I really think he's dumb. Like I really don't think he's a smart individual as a person. I think he's just stupid. Like it's pretty amazing how he's won 6 Super Bowls. I mean,
Yeah,
all those years. But when you have Brady and Belichick, anyone can,
yeah.
right?
And I wanted to hit a little bit too. We always shit on this guy. He's Patrick Graham. We hate Patrick Graham here. We always criticize him, but I think he deserves his flowers.
Yeah,
The Charger game, we stepped up our defense. Obviously, they gave up a lot of points. That's because O'Connell was fumbling a lot. So the last 2 weeks, our defense has come out and played hard.
yeah,
And against, I mean, say what you want about Jordan Love, they're decent. They're not like completely shit like the Bears. Like they're an average NFL team. They're not great, but in the past with like Paul Gunther, they're dropping 28, 35 points on us.
yeah,
And to give up 13 points is pretty big. So I was happy with Patrick Graham. We have an Ivy League defense now.
yeah.
You can tell he went to Yale.
Ivy League defense. Mr. Chan Jones was watching the game from looked like a B-Dubs or something with Adam Plant
Yeah.
Jr. They're watching the game.
Yeah.
He was posting saying Devontae's that dog, Devontae's that dog, with Adam Plant, and but yeah, I think Patrick Graham deserves his flowers, like you said, stepped up when it mattered. And I honestly think that if they can hold teams, like this under 20 points, I mean, you have better chance of winning, even though the offense still disappointed. This should have been a blowout. I mean, the way that they were making defensive stops, they could have put. I mean, if it was Derek Carr, I hate to say this, you know how much it pains me to say this, but if we had Derek Carr under center, we probably would have put a minimum 24, 31 points
Yeah.
off the board. And I think,
And
yeah,
the thing is, the Pittsburgh game, we put up 18, but we got a 2-point conversion. So we would have had 17 there. Every single game, we've had 17 points so far. Think about that. We can't put up more than 2 touchdowns and a field goal. And I mean, we missed 2 field goals today. Carlson missed that. He got tipped at the right before half. And then obviously the end of the game, he missed that 50-yarder. So, I mean, we should have had 23. But I mean, the draw sometimes I don't know why McDaniels keeps running draws on first down, because the whole point of a draw is when their defense is expecting a pass and the linebackers aren't aggressive, and then you just hand it off. Everyone knows it's going to be a draw because they run it every single time.
And I think later on in the game, Jacobs actually picked up steam. Jacobs actually got going. And he had those 10, 9, 10 yard gains that really salted the game away. Um, and I just think Jacobs in general, I mean, he's okay, he's explosive when he hits the hole. And today I feel like the line did a better job of, making some space. The Green Bay defense is no pushover, they're pretty good.
Yeah.
Um, but I think that in general, he's getting his kind of traction now, 5 weeks in, he's getting kind of his footing. And I think expect him to just keep on going like this week, next week against New England. New England, we know they got outscored 70-3 in their last 2 games. So we know they're not going to have any confidence. They don't know who they're going to start at QB. Our defense is rolling. And I jokingly texted my friend who's going to be on the podcast this coming week. Jokingly told him, I'm like, bro, it might be 3-0 the final score on Sunday, because this is just like two teams that really can't score that many points. And again, the other thing, Devontae, not very active tonight. 4 catches for 45 yards. Okay, mediocre. I mean, I just felt like Jimmy G was holding the ball too long. There was instances. The highlights are running right now. And there was just instances where this man was just holding the ball way too long. Just holding the ball too long.
The one thing I will say about Adams, we saw in the Pittsburgh game, you just key on Adams. You throw to Adams every time. So I'm happy that he tried to hit Mayer a few times. He tried to hit Renfro, I think, once or twice, and he hit Myers a lot. So it's not the worst thing in the world when Adams isn't getting keyed in on every play, because it kind of stretches their defense out. They don't have to worry about just Adams. And he got lined up against a linebacker a few times. That's the result of you spreading the ball around as a quarterback.
Yeah, and I also think that a problem with this team still, I mean, okay, good win, 17-13, low scoring. I mean, it's no surprise the inability to score points is one thing. Win's a win, 2-3. But I wanted to get in kind of to the schedule coming up, because honestly, there's some winnable games coming up. We got New England, who's sitting at 1-4. QB situation is effed up over there. Belichick is on his way out. Maybe probably after this year, it's probably Belichick's going to call it. I mean, this is like, it's coming to an end. Then after that, we got Chicago, and there's no Chandler Jones this time. So there's no Chandler Jones heroics coming like last year. But then we got at Chicago, then Detroit on Chicago. At Chicago, I expect to win that game now. With the way our defense is playing, I expect to hold Chicago to a lot of 3-and-outs and, very minimal point total. And then after that, again, a real test against Detroit on Monday night. That's gonna be a game for the ages, I think. But yeah, and then after that, you got the Jets and the Giants at home back to back. Those are 2 winnable games. The Jets defense is good, but I think Jacobs is getting his stride now. And I think Josh Jacobs is going to have a big game next week. and then the momentum's just going to keep on growing. Honestly, that's what I think.
So I think in those 5 games, I think 3-2 is good. Because I mean, you're not gonna. We're a decent team. We're not the Chiefs or the freaking Bills walking in there. So if you win three out of the next 5, I think it's a win to get back to 500 and go 5-5 going into the second half of the season. Because okay, look, Jets, Giants, Bears, and Patriots we'll probably lose one of those games. One of those games will screw up. Garoppolo will throw a few picks. So I don't expect to go 4-1 there. 3-2 is a win. If you can go 4-1, it'd be great. If you go 2-3 in that stretch, it's over. You can't go 4-6 in the AFC. So I think you got to be 500 by week 11.
Yeah, and I think you got to have minimal mistakes now, and going into the rest of the season, you got Kansas City coming up twice. So think about it. You're already at 3 losses. You're at 2-3. Kansas City 2 losses, which is likely because I mean we can just never seem to jump over that hurdle. That's 2 more losses that are going to put us at 5. Then, like you said, one of those 4 games, something is going to happen because it's the Raiders. Something is going to happen in that sense. So
yeah, but we're alive though. I mean, after last week, I thought we were gonna get rolled against the Packers. I didn't think we had a chance to win. So winning this game is a big deal for us. I mean, if you think about it, last year we were in the same. Remember, we were 1-3 going into that KC game on Monday night, and we almost won and we lost at the buzzer. Carr they ran a deep ball on 4th and 1, and Renfro and Adams collided, and that kind of just set our season in a downward spiral. And I think we were in the exact position and we were able to win this game, which was
yeah.
big for us going into the stretch. But I wanted to move on McDaniel's decision to kick a field goal at his own, or not his own, at the Green Bay, what was it, 36-yard line, 4th and an inch.
Yep.
I really hated that call. I know some people, texting with a few people who were like, oh, you got to kick the field goal there. I really disagree because either way, what's the percentage chance that we were going to get that 4th down? I think probably 70-30, 80-20. It was a higher percent chance of us getting that than making that field goal. And if you miss the field goal, you're in the same position as if you missed 4th and 1. And even if we made the field goal, we would be up 7, 1-score game. And I think Green Bay would have gone for 2 had they scored a touchdown because they were getting outplayed. I think at that point you go for 2, just end the game. And knowing us, we would have given it up. So I would have felt equally as uncomfortable on Green Bay's final drive, even if we had a 7-point lead versus a 4-point lead. I think you just got to win the game there. Like your line has been killing them in the fourth quarter. You got to just give them the chance on 4th and an inch. Like I really hated that call. It was lucky that we were able to win the game. And if we had lost the game, the first thing we would have hopped on and said is fire McDaniels. That's such a shitty call.
And it wouldn't have happened. It wouldn't have happened, by the way. There's no, maybe okay, Mark Davis called him an asshole, maybe,
Yeah.
but I don't think there's any way they fire him mid-season like that. And
Because like when it was the 2-minute warning before that, I fully expected. I'm like, okay, what are they going to call on 4th and 1? Are they going to sneak it? Are they going to run it, pitch it? I don't even know. And I saw Carlson trot out there, and I was like, what the hell is going on? Why are you kicking here? So I really hated that call. I did not like that call by McDaniels.
well,
Lucky that we were able
it'll
to
be
win.
it'll be interesting to see what happens next week. Um, I'm on fall break next week, so I'll be in Arizona. I'll be watching the game at ASU next week, and then I'll probably drive back after that. Probably come home after that after the game. FPI gives us a 54% chance to win. I'm looking at it right now. Um, yeah, I mean, again, we'll see what happens next week. Um, good stretch of games for us coming up. The next 6, I think 5 of them are pretty winnable. I even think Detroit is pretty winnable. Detroit is not, they sometimes come out strong and sometimes they just look slow. Against Seattle, they look slow. Detroit's 4-1. But I mean, like, look at the teams they've played. I honestly like.
They beat the Chiefs. I mean, they're decent, but
Yeah, they beat
their
KC.
quarterback is limited. Their quarterback isn't great. Jared
Yeah,
Goff.
yeah.
People say, oh, he's great. I don't think he's that special. He's a pocket passer. He's Carr, Garoppolo type player.
Yeah, yeah.
So
And
he's
then
beatable.
they beat Atlanta, Green Bay, and Carolina. That's three. You know, this week again at Tampa Bay, they're gonna have a little tougher of a time, I think, than at Baltimore. If Lamar's passes can get caught, I mean,
Yeah.
Ravens had like 8 drops last week. I mean, if Lamar can complete passes, then they'll have a tough time there before playing us. Um, but yeah, long ways to go before then. We got a lot to figure out. Um, but hey, man, wins will win, 2 and 3. Um, yeah, looking forward to what comes next.
Yeah, big win. Especially to Devontae Adams. If we had lost this game, what would be going through that guy's head? Like he would have just been that would not have been a fun sight to see. Your star player losing to his former team. I think this boosts team morale. It was a big win for Devontae. It was a big win for our organization too on prime time. And I'm really looking forward to seeing how they respond against New England. Because traditionally we would lose against to New England after a miracle win like this at the end, we'd come out flat. So I want to see how McDaniels' team responds. Come out and beat these guys. You're a better team than New England. Their offense has been crap. Just go out and just shut them out.
I agree. I agree. But yeah,
But
we'll be coming to you live this weekend. We'll get a video out this weekend. We're gonna have my boy Sam on the podcast. Diehard Patriots fan from Boston. So the only thing we get along with about is the Boston Celtics, and that's about it. I don't know, no one knows, but I'm a diehard Boston Celtic fan. Has nothing to do with this podcast, but just throwing it out there that I'm USC, he's UCLA, you meaning you're UCLA.
there
I'm
we go.
Boston. You're LA
I'm
Lakers.
LA Laker.
Yeah.
So
So yep. But one,
maybe I'll be a Chiefs fan to just even out the parity more.
yeah, just even it out. Go 3 for 3 right there.
Yeah.
But yeah, guys, we'll see you over the weekend.
Yeah. Enjoy this one, Raider Nation.
Yeah,
Thanks.
enjoy the win, guys.